Hi guys, welcome back to your Professional Diploma in Leadership and Management Module 1, and we are on to Lesson 5, Coaching for Success. But, of course, before we get started, as usual, I'm just going to do a quick sound check. So if you can't hear me, please type yes into your comment box. And if you can't, hopefully you're reading the screen as usual and you're typing no, so the support staff can help you if you're having any issues. So let's have a look at what we're going to learn today in Lesson 5, Coaching for Success. So in this lesson, you will learn how to coach employees effectively. You will also gain insights to how rewarding performance promotes productivity and helps build resilience for those times that you need the team members to go beyond the call of duty. So we're going to look at coaching for performance, rewarding performance, and also how leaders identify and develop talent. So John Russell from Harley Davidson says, "I never cease to be amazed at the power of the coaching process to draw out the skills or talent that we have previously hidden within an individual, and which invariably finds a way to solve a problem previously thought unsolvable." Okay, so we've seen how some managers hold a position of power or authority, but they will never lead change successfully. However, those who lead and inspire us to change, whether they're individuals or organizations, we follow them not because we have to, but because we want to. Okay, so we follow those who lead not for them but ourselves. Okay, and that's those who start with why. Why are we doing it? And that they have the ability to show us the vision, to show us the goals, and to follow them in that direction. That is what leading is all about. So why is coaching such an important part of leadership? Well, coaching focuses on two main areas: improvement and changing behavior. So normally done on a one-to-one basis, it's personalized for the individual learner. So when it comes to coaching to improve, it's about helping the employee or helping the person find their own solution. So the term coaching typically refers to methods of helping others to improve, develop, learn new skills, find personal success, achieve aims, and to manage life change and personal challenges. Okay, so that's what coaching is all about. It's about improving that person, helping that person become a little better, that 1% better every day, right? Now, the other thing coaching does is it addresses. Now, the other thing that coaching does is that it actually addresses behavioral change. Okay, so coaching commonly addresses attitudes, behaviors, knowledge, mindset, as well as skills, and can also focus on physical and spiritual development. So it's not just coaching to be improved in one area. Coaching can be more general about improving all areas of ourselves, whether it be physical, intellectual, spiritual, and so on. Okay? So coaching ideally helps a person find their own solutions rather than us prescribing a solution for them from our viewpoint. Right? Now, with that in mind, what's the difference between, say, a coach, a mentor, or a manager? Okay, well, let's look at that. Okay, coaching initiatives fail in part because the distinction between the role of a manager, a mentor, and a coach is just not well understood. Now, each can help an employee or an executive meet their principal objectives, those being development, leadership, self-awareness, mindset change. But a coach, mentor, and manager are not the same things. Their roles are distinct, their tasks are very different, and each is occupied with different aspects of an executive's daily job, long-term career, and life. All right? So if we look at a coach is concerned with deep personal and professional development. The emphasis is on the personal. So the most effective coaches are external to the company, where they are independent of the organization's pressure and political influence and are free to offer more or less objective counsel and guidance. It is difficult, if not impossible, to create the necessary confidence, space, and trust with a person if his or her coaching relationship is embedded within the organization's formal structure. Now guys, when it comes to a mentor occupies a close interpersonal role and helps guide a protege's corporate career choices. Now, a mentor can be formally designated role or informally acquired. Okay? A formal mentor helps the protege understand the organization and support their journey within it with the assumption of long-term career in that company. Okay, whereas an informal mentor does the same thing but is maybe more focused on addressing more personal and career development needs, even if it's actually outside of that organization. So if you think back, maybe in your career, you may have had formal and informal mentors. Now, personally, I've had informal mentors that have done a lot more for me than formal mentors. So if you're lucky enough to maybe be guided by an informal mentor, then I think you definitely get more out of it. But formal mentors can be very good if they do truly care about their employees and the company. And then, of course, guys, the manager. Now, the manager occupies a formal role within an organization and is responsible for ensuring the primary task of maybe the team or department or business or organization as a whole. So they are responsible for ensuring that the tasks of the team are met. Now, a manager can use coaching skills to informally coach their employees or subordinates, but this coaching is in service of the subordinate's organization task. Okay, so it's in service of the company for that employee to do better. So guys, if you can understand the distinct different roles between the coach, the mentor, and the manager, I think what successful leaders do are actually take a touch of that mentorship with their management and they mix it together. And I think when people see that you care about them, care about their personal and professional development, maybe not just within the company, but also outside of that, you're going to have a lot more loyalty within the organization, a lot more loyalty within your department. So Tom Landry says, a coach is someone who tells you what you don't want to hear, who has you see what you don't want to see, so you can be who you always knew you could be. Now, Tom Landry, he was an American football player and coach. He's ranked as one of the greatest and most innovative coaches in the NFL's history and created a huge amount of new formations and methods over his 28 years with the Dallas Cowboys. He also says that I've learned that something constructive comes from every defeat. So again, he has that winner-learn mentality. There's no such thing as failure. There's no such thing as a loss. We either win or we learn. And I think when we have that mentality, it's very hard for anyone to beat us. Because if you're winning or learning, you're always developing. Okay? So, with that in mind, why do leaders need to learn how to coach? Why is it so important that leaders should know how to effectively coach people? Well, leaders have a vastly influential role to play in optimizing employees' performance. So to a very large extent, leaders' coaching skills can help employees' performance either flourish or collapse. Now, in Brandon Hall Group's State of Performance Management study, they found that 53% of organizations cited improving overall business performance as the #1 organizational outcome of the performance management process, and found that all executives interviewed cited developing leaders as coaches as a critical strategy to improving that performance. Yet nearly 2/3, 65% of respondents indicated that training leaders to be effective development coaches was actually their greatest challenge. So why should aspiring leaders learn to coach? Very simply, to create a high performance culture. You see, leaders have a hugely influential role to play in optimizing employees' performance. Okay? They play a significant role in inspiring and cultivating collaborative team working environments. So the leadership team truly need to be committed to coaching their employees, coaching their team members for top performance. So with that in mind, what do companies need to do? Well, they need to train their leaders in their organizations within a coaching philosophy and within that company's culture. They need to practice these conversations that help frame the performance goal on a daily basis. They also need to provide support, so templates, tools, checklists in their 24/7 knowledge base. And they need to certify that their leaders, that the people they have in charge of inspiring everyone else on the floor, have actually successfully completed a coaching development program. Because if you have a senior manager or a leader who has never completed any type of coaching development program or individual development program, how are they going to possibly lead others through theirs? Now, employees, they have reasonable and very fair expectations when they work for companies. They should be treated fairly. They should have leaders that they trust and respect and who give them an opportunity to be a significant contributor within that organization. So employees join and stay with organizations that honor these expectations. And they leave companies that don't. And there's so many companies, guys, that talk about this, that talk about treating employees fairly, that talk about having leaders that gain trust, gain respect, that help people develop, and the minute you join them, that's actually not the case. So employees will only stay with organizations that honor those expectations. And remember, guys, as managers, as leaders, we are the ones that play the biggest role in inspiring and cultivating a positive team working environment that enables the achievement of those expectations, that enables the achievement of top performance, and it enables really true development amongst your organization. So guys, what are the characteristics of an effective coach? Well, coaches develop trust by letting others see them for who they really are, by being unconditionally constructive in their communications, by admitting their own mistakes, by accepting the mistakes of others, and by demonstrating genuine interest in other people. So there's three main things an effective coach does. The first thing is they establish trust and they build rapport. So trust is the most essential thing to establish as a coach. Employees will not commit to you until they trust you completely. So coaches are extremely effective at building rapport with the people they coach, but also showing how genuine they are. You cannot fake building rapport. It is about having a genuine interest in other people. You have to build an atmosphere where it's safe to share personal vulnerabilities. You have to be willing to be influenced by others as well and influence them. Okay, and body language plays a big role in this. Okay, and this develops grounds for mutual respect for development to flourish. The second thing they do is they lend perspective. So coaches foresee the thoughts and emotions that will be generated by an upcoming challenge. Okay, they see the range of issues in a given situation and how they can relate to each other. Okay, and they show empathy for an individual's challenges, fears, personal obstacles, and so on. Okay, and they abstain from being defensive or over judgmental, again building that trust, building that path for development. And then the third thing they do is they listen, guys. Coaches listen really effectively, okay, with the intention of fully understanding other people. They ask penetrating questions which enable others to surface their underlying assumptions about themselves. They create a space within which people will actually talk and share opinions. And if people feel like they're in a space that's not judgmental, where people aren't going to go overly defensive, where people are going to be empathetic about their opinions, their feelings, and maybe their own shortcomings, then they are ready to develop within that atmosphere. Now, this is really about being genuinely interested in the success of other people. So effective coaches put across that and really show people that they are there to help them succeed and help them develop. And I think that's the only way you can truly get the best out of people, to show them how much you care about their development. So guys, do we see a picture emerging of how important building trust and building an atmosphere which is non-judgmental to be successful for coaching? Yeah? Okay, perfect. So we know coaching focuses to help others learn in ways that let them keep growing on a daily basis. And it is based on asking rather than telling, on provoking thought rather than giving direction, and on holding a person accountable for their own goals. So what you are doing is helping them develop their own problem-solving skills so they can come up with their own solutions. Now, What do we need to tease out? Well, the first thing we need to do is identify the performance goal. So we need to make sure that the team and everyone on it understands the team goals, the individual goals, and what we're working towards. The second thing that we need to look at is checking assumptions associated with the goal. So we have to challenge people to identify their assumptions and conclusions which may lead to less than optimal performance. So do they think the targets are realistic? Is the workload realistic? Can we achieve this on time? Have we previously done it? The next thing that we need to do is identify options for achieving the goal. So there may be more than one right way to achieve the goal. Now we want the coachees to come up with the solutions. We want them to suggest how we're going to achieve the goal, because then they can take ownership of that to complete the job. We also want to make sure that we hold the coachee accountable and we set down smart planning. So remember, specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and having an exact timeline. So we have to commit to the next steps and specific actions for achieving the goal. And then lastly, guys, we have to hold off from being too critical, and we have to allow time for learning. Now, we can still push for results, we can still deliver constructive feedback and support while we're trying to achieve the goal, but we just don't want to be overly negative. Now, guys, all managers need some guidance on the whys and hows of coaching, but most organizations can't afford to train them on a large scale. So the least you can do is make an effort to create a culture of coaching within your organization. Now, the key to doing this is creating a pool of manager coaches who can be role models, supporters, and sustainers of a coaching mindset by understanding that they have to develop their teams. They have to develop their people in a genuine way of wanting them to succeed in the long term. Okay? So, your role models will then be able to demonstrate effective coaching both formally and informally, and they will help others to use and improve their own capabilities. Now, how do we do that? Well, the first thing we need to do, of course, is build rapport. The process begins with building rapport. We have to establish the boundaries of what we will and will not discuss within a specific coaching method. So we'll get focused on the issue at hand and be clear as to how you will assist them. So make sure you engage and follow through with what you were saying the whole process is about. The second thing is we need to assess and get a clear picture of the as is in the organization at the moment and where we want to go. So we need to build self-awareness and discover insights, and with feedback, tease out the right behaviors we're looking for from that team or that floor staff or that individual on a daily basis, on a monthly basis. Okay? The next thing we got to do is to challenge assumptions. Okay? Now, be sure to challenge assumptions. Use different types of questions, such as what are the market trends that we should be addressing right now? What is your personal feeling about our performance? What's new or different at the moment? What are we missing? What's the current reality? What's possible? How can we improve? What target should we be trying to hit? Where are weak areas? Everything. Challenge everything within the organization, within the team, within that individual, to see where we can improve and to make them understand that it has to be a daily mindset. The daily mindset has to be about improving, because otherwise what are we doing? All right? The fourth thing then is to be supportive and encourage through regular feedback sessions. So again, if we're looking for daily improvements, we're looking for suggestions from the team, suggestions from individuals, suggestions from the floor to help improve productivity, customer service, building value, and so on. Okay? And the last thing, guys, is we have to celebrate, recognize, and reward results and achievements. So even small milestones on the way to a larger goal, we should be recognizing. And we should be thanking the team and saying what a great job we're doing and that we're on track to hit the numbers we need to get our extra bonus, or just in general to be the new number one team, whatever it may be. And I think if we use these 5 areas, build rapport, do proper assessments, challenge assumptions, give support and feedback, and recognize and reward results, you're going to build such a strong team comparatively to managers that are simply just sending emails asking for things to be done. All right? We have to have our teams, we have to have our individuals, we have to have our floor staff wanting to improve on a daily basis without us having to tell them every single hour. Yeah? Make sense? Now guys, recognition is not a scarce resource. You can't use it up or run out of it. Okay? So this is quite interesting because in research carried out by Deloitte into employee recognition, they found that those organizations with the most mature employee recognition approach are 12 times more likely to have strong business results. Now think about that. 12 times more likely. I mean, that's a huge number. However, they also found that while 75% of organizations have a recognition program, only 58% of employees actually think that there's an organization recognition program. So what does that tell you? What does that tell you, guys? Remember, we said in an earlier lesson that all employees need to be eligible of recognition and that leaders need to ensure that the criteria for awards are transparent. Now, this is actually where a lot of companies go wrong, only recognizing certain sections of their employees. Like, think about this. Like, for everyone listening to this now, for everyone out there and the student peer group, talk amongst yourselves. Do you guys know, does your company have a reward and a recognition program? Or are you aware of your company's reward or recognition program? That's a good question to think about now and have a conversation on. So, employee recognition, guys, it's not rocket science. It's an obvious thing to do, okay? So recognizing performance, what's the purpose of it? Well, the purpose of it, it's a tool for reinforcing the behaviors that drive organizations to excel. Okay, we actually want to reinforce the positive behaviors that our employees are already doing. So recognition lets employees know that we actually care about creating an environment where individuals feel appreciated for their contributions towards the organization and towards their own accomplishments. Okay, we have to make people feel recognized. Okay. Good work and being recognized for good work sends an extremely powerful message to the recipient, their work team, and the employees in general down the grapevine. Like, employee recognition is therefore probably one of the most potent communication techniques about reinforcing positive behavior within the company. Now, what's the difference between reward and recognition? Well, recognition is a discretionary act, yeah? Whereas rewards are the items, the gift cards, the cash, the perks, the bonuses that we give from time to time through receiving recognition. Okay? So simply handing out rewards is not recognition. The reward must come after the recognition and soon after it. Okay? At some point, employers need to acknowledge superior performance or their best employees will walk. So a lot of people want to be recognized, want to be rewarded, especially when they're putting in the hard work. But you have to do both. It's not just about throwing bonuses out there willy-nilly, and it's not about just saying thank you. There has to be a combination. All right? So, why is it so important? And why is recognition so important as opposed to just giving out rewards? All right? Well, let's look at it. Appreciation and recognition are major factors that actually motivate your team, your employees, to work harder and aim higher. They crave it. They feel good when you tell them they're doing a great job or say thank you for that great work on that project, or just in general out of nowhere saying, listen, John, Mary, Tom, I've noticed you've been really putting in the hours and doing a great job the past month or two. I really want to tell you how much I appreciate that. Okay, simple stuff like that, guys. Studies show that employees who are rewarded for going the extra mile are more productive and fulfilled, show greater loyalty, and are eager to contribute to the organization in an impactful and meaningful way on a more regular basis. So they actually come in and they want to impact the organization in a positive way. They're motivated to come in and come up with better solutions or building value better for your customer or improving efficiency within the team. So if you actually have a proper recognition and reward system, you're only going to reinforce these positive behaviors. Okay? Recognition, when it's used at the right time, is a powerful motivator as it increases the value of the achievement as well. If you're using it at the right time, especially during major projects or maybe huge leap forwards in the organization, and you're recognizing and rewarding the right people, that is a huge motivator for everyone else in that company to work towards their own goals to achieve recognition and rewards like that. Okay? And recognition, guys, it's priceless. Be it tangible or intangible. Status is much more than money. It increases employee loyalty, enhances performance, and it generates greater success long term, guys. Again, we're working for the long term. We're not always working for that short term. We have to be thinking long term. Long term about the team, long term about the organization, long term about each individual employee and their own development within the organization. Because otherwise we're going to have a swinging door policy with our employees, and that's the last thing we want. And guys, here's the thing, okay? Recognition is not built into the culture of most organizations, okay? We don't tend to recognize effort, we tend to recognize performance and results. But we need to do a better job at recognizing the people that do an amazing job and help others become better at their job. You see, the thing is, we don't actually see effort a lot of the time. It's not as straightforward as the results, which tend to be quite measurable and visible. But here's the thing, effort is not reliant on luck, so managers need to be trained to be aware when there's an opportunity to praise someone for their effort for going above and beyond for the company, especially if it's part of that culture. We also tend to recognize the wrong thing. We tend to recognize results over effort. Now, a lot of the time, results can be a combination of 10 people doing something and not one person. So we have to be able to recognize effort and have to make sure that we're not recognizing and rewarding the wrong people. We also can't miss the moment to recognize, okay? Recognition needs to be tied to a task in hand. There is an immediacy in it, and results and effort need to be recognized and tied to that task. And then lastly, guys, it has a huge impact on morale if we recognize the wrong people. There is nothing more demotivating for our staff than if a colleague is putting in a huge amount of effort, doesn't get recognized for their work, and then a less competent colleague receives all of the recognition and rewards. Or some middle manager where the team is doing 95% of the work is getting all of the recognition and reward. You have to make sure that everyone is eligible for recognition and reward for the amazing effort that they put in. Now, how do we do that? Okay, how do we reward effort in the right way? Well, we need to reward behaviors that are directly aligned with accomplishing the goals of the organization and the culture of the organization. So we're not just rewarding mindless effort. We need to reward behaviors that are directly aligned to the business strategy. The next thing we need to do is make sure that rewards are tied to passion and purpose, to remind employees that they're recognized and rewarded for coming in on a daily basis with a positive attitude towards building value for our customer. Yeah? The third thing we need to do is make sure that workers are able to clearly associate the reward to their accomplishments. Okay? Now, one of the main purposes of rewards is to reinforce the positive behaviors that earn that reward in the first place. Okay? So we want to make sure that the employees know exactly what they're being rewarded for. Now, the quicker we do this after the behavior we want to reinforce, the easier it is for the employee to actually see why they're being rewarded and recognized. Okay, guys? And then lastly, it's so important to give employees a sense of purpose and feeling appreciated. Okay, finding and training new employees is a substantial cost no matter what the size of the organization. So one of the best ways to retain employees is to reward them for their work regularly and reward them for their effort, which is aligned with our business strategies regularly. That will give them that purpose, that feeling of appreciation, that feeling of value, and they will come in on a daily basis with a positive attitude working towards all of our business goals. Now, people crave positive feedback, guys. That's the thing. Okay, so with recognition, they will put in extra effort because the glow that comes with knowing an achievement has been seen, appreciated, and celebrated cannot be underestimated. Now, to put this in context, There was a study funded by Make Their Day, an employee motivation firm, and Badgeville, a gamification company. So they surveyed 1,200 US employees from a broad cross-section of industries. And among the study's highlights, they found that 83% of respondents said that recognition for contributions was more fulfilling than any rewards or gifts. 76% said that they found peer praise very or extremely motivating, sometimes more motivating than from managers. 88% found that praise from their managers was extremely motivating, of course, if they respected the manager, and 90% of them said that a fun work environment was very or extremely motivating and important for what they are looking for in a career. Now, the interesting thing about this is the study found that workers of all ages, but especially the rising millennial population, are motivated by real-time feedback, fun, engaging work environments, and status-based recognition over tangible rewards. So again, guys, this isn't going to cost us anything. Recognition, we're not going to run out of it. So all we have to do is teach our managers, teach our leaders to better recognize effort, better recognize good results from everyone, and make sure that we're actually doing it on a regular basis to create a very positive and highly motivated workforce. Okay? And that's how we do it. Okay? We have to do it on a regular basis. People are motivated by more than money. 70% of the survey respondents reported their most meaningful recognition had no dollar value. So how do we do it? We do it in the moment, guys. Catch people doing exemplary work and acknowledge their efforts. Be specific, be descriptive, and measured. Okay? This creates passion to perform, and they will lead by example for the rest of your staff. Make sure that it's in context. Recognition is most effective when it's given in the context of a larger goal or business result focused activity. Okay, it has to be in context. Make sure it's authentic and not automatic. Okay, reward systems should be transparent. Bonuses should be available to all who meet their performance objectives. Okay, and then recognition and effort success tends to lie outside formal remuneration, and that's why it needs to be noticed and rewarded also. So you need to train your managers to do that. Okay? And there's so many other options than money. I mean, money is a short-term motivator. It does help, yes, but flexible hours, a day off, standing ovations, special thank yous, peer recognition, achievement awards. There's a load of other ways that we can recognize and reward our staff. And then, of course, guys, we have to make sure it's appropriate. You know, recognition should match effort and results, or it loses meaning. So the bigger the effort, the greater the recognition, and the greater the reward should be. So, we said it before, we'll say it again. Leaders don't create followers, they create more leaders. We want lots of leaders in our organizations, okay? We need to identify and develop talent. Only 19% of large organizations have a strategy to develop and identify high performers for leadership roles, okay? And it costs 2 to 3 times more to replace people than to keep them long term and help them develop into more roles. So what do we need to do to identify and develop talent? Well, first of all, we need a talent pipeline. What's that? Well, a talent pipeline creates and nurtures a constant inflow of potential candidates for future roles. That's the first thing we need to do, okay? Then with your HR, organize quarterly meetings and have managers identify future talent pools 3 layers deep in the organization. So the people that you come across on a daily basis within your team, outside your team, make sure you're identifying your future leaders, okay? The next thing we need to do is, once we've identified the future leaders, we have to make sure that they're working on individual development programs or plans right now, so when they are ready to move into a leadership role or more of a leadership role, we have them ready to do so with the right skills and competencies. What other sources of talent should you be looking for? Well, your current employees, especially your talented employees or your skilled, hard-working employees, are an excellent source to attract potential hires because they know the culture, and maybe within their friends group they have some very skilled workers in the wrong organization that we can attract over. Okay, So what do you look for? You look for a culture fit, not a technical fit. Okay? The culture fit, we can always teach the skills and the competencies. We can always train that. But we want to make sure we're hiring the right people who believe in the same values and culture as us. According to Burson and Associates survey, as I said, only 19% of large organizations actually have a strategy to identify and develop high performance. So no matter what stage you're in, from a startup to an established corporation, you should always be working on your talent pipeline to make sure that the organization stays competitive and successful. And your leaders are the ones responsible to be accountable for developing and attracting talent. So how do we do this? Well, the next wave, okay? We need an integrated, systemic approach to talent management. So current leaders need to be accountable for creating and developing the next wave of leaders. They are responsible for developing our successful future managers, future leaders, future CEOs, whatever it may be. The next thing we need to do is align with strategy. So what are the key business drivers for the success in our business? Have you got the talent necessary for these leading roles? Have we a clear picture on what skills and capabilities and competencies we require in those roles? And do we communicate and inform high performers what roles will be required in the future so they can develop them within their own individual development program? And then we need to develop the talent. So talent management and identification needs to be a core practice. Leaders must be looking to replace themselves within 18 months. So work with HR, identify your A, your B, your C talent, and make sure that you're putting individual development program and opportunities in for those people that may be emerging into those positions down the line. So creating a sustainable pipeline of promotable internal talent that provides top-tier leadership needs an integrated, systemic approach to talent management. Current leaders in the organization need to be accountable for creating a talent management culture and developing the next wave of talent for the firm. We have to create more leaders on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis. We need to be identifying the people that are the future of our business. Now, an effective talent pipeline process looks something like this. Number one, we analyze. So identify the critical roles that need to be filled. If your top 5 managers were to leave, have you identified their replacements? Easy, right? But most companies don't actually do it. Number 2, assess competencies. Identify now the critical skills and competencies that those roles require. Assess internal and external potential candidates against these competencies. Do we have this talent, skill, competency in the company? Number 3 is track development and develop the pool. So think about promotions and turnover rates. Put in place development programs tailored for each key position. Develop panel interviews, coach and prepare candidates for those roles which will be open in the future so they are ready to step into those roles. Okay. Number 4 is technology and talent management technology. Okay, performance management systems, recruitment, learning, performance, compensation, competency gaps. You know, we have to be able to mitigate talent risk, and we have to know that if we lose someone in an important role, we have someone that can step into that role straight away in the interim or for the future. And then lastly, guys, measure success. Measure and celebrate success. Review talent identification. Measure internal versus external success and build a sharing talent culture. Who does better? Our internal or external candidates? We need to know this for specific roles, for specific departments. You know, how often do we actually need to go outside the company? Okay, ask your leadership team which high-performing individuals are one step away from walking. Have we taken care of them? Can we keep them there? Can we make sure they're actually cultivating the next talent that's going to take over for them? We need to mitigate our risk. And speaking of internal and external candidates, you know, who should we recruit? Well, there are times when an infusion of outside talent can provide new skills and drive and innovation. However, developing your internal talent should take precedence. Okay, so let's look at external candidates. Yes, they bring new approaches and vision to the organizational culture. They'll also bring a unique skill set that is maybe not available internally currently, and they can come in and make tough decisions as they are not yet embedded in the company culture. However, the advantage of internal candidates is they know the layout of the company and its strengths and weaknesses. They already know where the talent lies and how it can better be utilized, and they can become more productive at a faster rate in general. However, we have to be careful that we're not just promoting internal candidates because they're efficient workers and have been there for a long time. Especially if the role they're being promoted into requires some tough decisions to be made and some new ways of thinking that they may not be able to break away from because they're too used to the old ways and they're too comfortable in the old systems, and they don't actually want to do that and bring the company forward. So there are advantages to both. The majority of the time I think we need internal candidate talent development, but yes, sometimes we need that external candidate skills to come in and make those tough decisions. All right? So there are 6 steps that leaders take to develop talent within organizations. Okay? Now, in 2014, Deloitte Global Human Capital Trend Research said that 78% of business leaders rate retention and engagement as urgent or important. So there are 6 very important things we need to do to make sure that we actually have a good retention rate. One is knowledge transfer. We have to break down silos and one department systems and make sure we reward the sharing of information. Solutions are found inside organizations. And if we lose someone who knew all the processes of one part, then we'll only find out later down the line that we've lost a lot of the solutions. Okay? Number 2 is improve collaboration. This comes with knowledge transfer. So introducing cross collaboration amongst teams promote the sharing and transfer of people and knowledge. I'll say, so we capture, we collaborate, we communicate. That's what we do. All right? Number 3 is transparency, guys. Leaders are open with their needs. When leaders communicate their vision on what success looks like, it will help internal candidates to come on board. Okay? It will help internal candidates so we don't lose good people. Okay, boost morale. Celebrate talent promotions from within. It motivates others and it shows that the company is serious about development. Just make sure you're developing and promoting the right people. Because guys, again, if we go with the old John is being promoted because he's Dave's buddy and Dave's the senior manager, we're going to kill morale. Number 5 is easy. Improve and increase performance. Share results. The highest performing organizations spend 36% more on development than their less successful counterparts. Build value, get better, improve performance. Have that as part of your culture. Everything gets better every time is one of ours. And improve retention, guys. Leaders want to know which talent is at risk of moving on. Okay, ensure your top talent are told they are top talent. Ensure that they are being recognized and rewarded, and ensure that they're not getting bored or stuck in a humdrum situation where they're just doing the same old, same old. Okay, we need to do these 6 things to develop talent within and keep them long term. And if we do this, guys, we're going to coach people for success long term, and we do that, we're coaching the organization to be successful long term. So guys, I'm going to wrap up that lesson there, but congratulations on completing lesson 5. I want to spend a little bit of time talking about your goals at the end of this lesson, because we are approaching the end of module 1 into module 2. I want to talk about and remind you about what your goals were when you started module 1. So was it to enter a new industry? Was it to gain a promotion within the current company? Was it to grow your own business or work in a side hustle to grow, maybe financial freedom down the line? Or was it simply about self-improvement? Was it about actually understanding how to improve yourself and part of your own personal development plan? So whatever it is, I can help, and we are here to help you. Now, when it comes to Shaw Academy, it is very much about education, about upskilling, about your individual support, and then about you applying yourself to learning the skills and competencies needed to develop in your own role, and then outside of maybe a job within the larger business world if you do want to start your own business. And I do want to remind you that you're on module 1 of a 4-module course. So for your full EQF level qualification, it is 4 modules. Your next obvious step, and really, for everyone, it should be Module 2. I never see the point in why people do Module 1 of a 4-module course and then disappear. Because if you want to complete that EQF Level 5 qualification, you need all 4 modules. But also, this is not designed as a 1-module course. Module 1 is your introductory module. So it's an intro into the practical skills you will learn on Module 2, 3, and 4. So we really don't cover enough in this first module to properly learn how to practically apply the skills and competencies within your day-to-day until we get to Module 2, 3, and 4 when we look at that implementation. Now, a reminder as well, of course, guys, that your EQF Level 5 qualification is a globally recognized qualification. So whether you're in the UK with the QCF Level 5, whether you're in the USA, its global equivalent will be the Associate's degree, and in South Africa it will be NQF Level 5, in Ireland it's QQI Level 6, in Canada QQF Level 5, and so on, guys. So what you do is you get your EQF Level 5 qualification, you contact your appropriate accreditation body and tell them, look, I have an EQF Level 5 qualification, and they will sign off your equivalent qualification for your country if you're not actually within Europe. Okay, now with that being said, let's talk about our other faculties and development on from obviously Module 2, 3, and 4, because we do have an entire business and marketing faculty which is built around really understanding more about business, how business is moving very much online, and then understanding things like social media, digital marketing, and how they integrate with building value with your customers and helping you get across the solution that is your business to the customers that have the problem. So the courses are things like digital marketing, social media marketing, obviously you're on leadership and management, but we also have things like blogging, career advancement, viral marketing, and English for business if maybe you struggle a little bit with your language skills, okay? Then we have our finance department where, guys, I also teach the diploma in cryptocurrency and financial trading and investment programs, where we look at the financial sector, we look at trading and investing in the financial sector. And if this is something that interests you, personally for me, I think every business person should know how to properly trade and invest on a part-time basis to help grow and develop their long-term wealth. And then we have things like a photography faculty, which is hugely popular, which covers every skill you can think of from amateur to professional. We have our tech design faculty, which again would very much be used by you guys on your leadership and management roles, because for me now, I mean, and the few, especially the last few organizations I've worked for and consulted with, you know, almost managers need to be very, very aware of how graphic design works, Photoshop works, the development of your website, the back end to your website, app development, and these are courses that we have for you as well. So even if it's a case of once you've finished off your leadership and management, you're only doing maybe the module 1 overview so you understand it more. You don't necessarily need the practical implementation of a lot of these, but you probably do need the overview knowledge if you're going to be working within a company that has any technological background. And then, of course, guys, we have the health and wellness faculty, where we have our nutrition, sports nutrition, fitness and weight loss, advanced exercise program within the fitness for weight loss and meal planning, along with many more courses. So again, this is about personal development, and I always say, you know, better body, better mind. My big belief comes from, you know, you get the best of you when you are the best version of yourself, and that includes not just your professional development, but also your personal development within your own health and fitness, nutrition and exercise. And as a business person, your fitness is vitally important for your performance in your professional day. I have a big background in fitness and personal training from many years ago as well, and it's something that I'm very much integrated into within the development of these courses within Shaw. And then, of course, guys, we do have a lifestyle faculty where we have a number of things like music, guitar, beauty, cookery, which we will be expanding this year into some very simple, knowledgeable courses. So, guys, if you're not already a member, you can upgrade within your members area, and you can do it today for 50% off, limited time. The way it works is you have a 1 month, 3 month, a 6 month, and the 12-month option. So the 12 and the 6 months are the most popular because most students would do more than one full professional diploma. So most of our students would do 2 EQF level 5 professional diplomas within a faculty, which is about 6 to 8 months study. So the most popular memberships are the 6-month and the 12-month option. But if you're on more of a budget and you're not 100% yet, there is that 3-month and 1-month package available to allow you to finish off your professional diploma in leadership and management, and then if needed, then down the line you can upgrade to those 6 and 12-month options. All memberships do give you access to all courses, gives you access to exclusive members content, level 5 qualifications, premium support, and of course uninterrupted flexible learning that you can log into anytime. So guys, please do, if you're not already a subscription member, you will need to upgrade to access module 2, 3, and 4, or the advanced modules. If you have purchased only module 1 from one of our affiliate sites, well then you will need to upgrade to access modules 2, 3, and 4 as I said. So simply check that out in your members area, guys. And I always say the sooner you do it, the better, because it's so easy to say, look, I'll do that next week, I'll do it towards the end of the course. But what if something happens and you miss out the last 2 weeks of module 1, and then you lose access, and then you forget about it, and you come back to me in 6 months' time and go, oh, something happened, and I forgot about that, and now I'm 6 months behind again, and need to redo the foundation course. So guys, get it out of the way now. Go on. You're online now. Click the links to upgrade. Pick your 1, your 3, your 6, or your 12 month. And upgrade and confirm your place on module 2, 3, and 4. You want to do it. If you want your EQF level 5, if you want your practical implementation, you need to do it. So do upgrade if you haven't done that already. If you do have any questions, guys, please feel free to email me, jonathan.ledden@shawacademy.com as usual. And as I always say, until next time, guys, remember, aim to get 1% better every day and enjoy the process.